Stuff's really good. Okay. Maybe just a little bit more. I wish you could try this. Can I just take a bite? Hi, I'm Selena with CleanEatingSelena.com, where I like to share plant-based recipes, lifestyle tips, and information. And I mostly follow a high-carb, low-fat, plant-based diet, so those are the kind of recipes that I like to share with you. Today I'm going to be making plant-based, vegan, or vegetarian chocolate chip cookies without a recipe. That's right, because no recipe, no problem. Stick around if that's something you're interested in. All right, what do we need first? We need this lovely banana. Okay, so it doesn't have to be super soft, but this one just happens to be so soft it could probably just melt onto the counter if it didn't have a peel. But that's great because the more ripe it is, the sweeter it's going to be. So the banana is going to be your sugar substitute. You are going to want to get a fork or masher if you have one to mush that all together. I'm going to add one right here. Okay, now you can use 1 or 2 bananas. So this is your, again, your sweetener, but there's 2 things that are holding this recipe or the cookies together, and that's going to be your banana and your chia seeds or flax, which brings us to our next ingredient, the flaxseed. Okay, make sure that's in frame. Okay, so we've got flaxseed. Now the thing about flaxseed is you need some water, because flaxseed and water create a flax egg. If you've ever heard of flax egg or vegan egg, well, flaxseed and water or chia seed and water, if you leave it together for a few minutes, it turns into this really cool gummy type consistency, which is an egg. Now, before I used to mix this separately, get it all eggy, and then put it in, but hey, this is a one-pot recipe, so we're just gonna get this done, put it all together. So you just measure enough. I don't know, what's that, a 1/4 cup? So essentially, you're just getting enough, depending on your how many bananas you're using, to keep the oats together, which is going to be obviously your big base. So we're gonna mix a little water in there, some flaxseed, and you're just gonna stir it. Don't worry about how long it's gonna sit, it's really fine. Okay, so if you don't have flax, or you wanna do flax and chia seeds, then you go ahead and get your chia seeds, put that in there, and now chia seeds absorb a lot of water, but these are really great for omega fatty acids, have some fiber, protein, excellent nutrition. So we're gonna get a little extra water and mix that in so the chia seeds have a little bit more water to absorb. And don't worry about if it's too liquidy or not enough, because once you add in your oats, then you're really gonna figure out, okay, I need more oats, I need more flaxseed and water. And yes, you can add any of these ingredients in at any time. That's the beauty of it. You just put in as much of anything that gets you the consistency of the cookies that you want, but the ingredients don't change. All right, next, now that we mix that up a little bit with the banana, the flax, and the chia seeds, we are gonna add oats. Now, because of the type of cookies I'm making, I like them to be a little soft and a little gritty at the same time, so I do quick oats and rolled oats. These ones, in my opinion, they're probably just blended oats to get a more finer powder type consistency, and these ones are a little thicker. So I kind of do maybe a half and half mixture of both of them. So we'll do a little, who knows, maybe that's a cup. It's probably a cup. But again, You don't need to know these measurements. You just put it in a bowl, mix it together, and see what happens. And then you can add more of the, you can almost think of the banana and the flax like your glue for your cookies. So you're starting to mix it in. And now that we've got the rolled oats and the quick oats, you just mix, mix, mix. Now, there's 2 sweeteners in this recipe, and that is your banana, and you have a second sweetener. We're not counting the chocolate chips. You can make this recipe without chocolate chips, by the way. So your second sweetener is the maple syrup. Now, on a whole food, plant-based diet, which is what I follow as closely as I can, you should keep to more natural plant-based sweeteners. A year or 2 ago, I used to use coconut sugar, but since I quit sugar, I switched to maple syrup. You can use date syrup, monk fruit if you want. I have not done it with stevia, so this is very sweet, so a little goes a long way. Maybe that's 2 tablespoons. I'm sure there's probably 3 tablespoons by the end of it. So you just mix it in, mix it in. Okay, and I like a little bit of cinnamon in mine, so I'm just gonna do a couple dashes, shake, shake, shake. Maybe more than a dash. Maybe it's 3 shakes. So 3 shakes of cinnamon. Okay, mix, mix, mix. Okay, and no cookie recipe would be complete without your baking powder. So how much should I put in? Good question. I'd say put a little in your hand, shake some about, and yeah, that's probably fine. Honestly, I've made this a dozen times or more over without baking powder, so if you don't have baking powder, you don't have baking soda, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Your cookies are going to turn out fine. Okay, but if you do put it in there, could help it rise just a little bit. Just put a dash more, a little shake, shake. Okay, now we've got some salt. Now on a whole food plant-based diet, you're supposed to have very low sodium or no salt. Salts can contribute to hypertension. So I just have a really small palmful, and I don't pour the container into the bowl ever. Don't do that. Always put it into your hand first, and then you can control how much you sprinkle in. So I bet that is barely an 1/8 of teaspoon of salt. But again, you don't need the salt, but it does really help balance the sweetness of the maple syrup. And please go easy on the syrup, trust me. It'll give you a headache when you're 5, 7 cookies deep if you have too much sweetener in your cookies. And yep, not guilty about how many cookies I eat when it comes to these. Okay, so that has a pretty good consistency. I'm not sure if you can see that very well, but let's zoom in just a little bit and see the consistency we have here. So it's kind of sticky, but not completely holding together, but sticky enough that you can turn it into a little ball, which is good. That's what you want. And you can taste it too. Let's taste it. Let's see what it tastes like. Yep. More sweetener. Needs a little bit more maple syrup. Okay. All right. Now, if you don't want to use as much maple syrup, just use more banana. Natural sweeteners are the best. And banana will give a lot of really nice, even sweetness to your recipe. And don't be afraid if it tastes not quite, mouthful of cookies, sorry. Not quite as sweet as you'd like, because once you cook it, and after you add these lovely chocolate chips, it's going to be amazing. Dunk it a little milk, will be good. Plant-based milk. So, you do not need a whole bag. You don't need a half a bag of chocolate chips. You probably don't even need a 1/4 bag if you're using 1 banana. But you just shake as much chocolate chips in there, as many chocolate chips as you think you can consume in 1 cookie, because I always have way too many chocolate chips in each cookie. That's just what happens. But tastes delicious. I really meant to get dark chocolate, but these were on sale and I thought they were dark chocolate, but they're semi-sweet. They are very delicious, and these ones are nut-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, so as far as I can tell, these are vegan or vegetarian friendly. All right, so we've got our mixture together. Okay, doesn't that look delicious? Yes, yes it does. Okay, you just want to reach in and just take a bite, right? All right, let's check out our recipe and see how it turned out. Ooh, it looks delicious. Okay, see the consistency with the chia seeds, the banana, and the flax? It's sticking together really well. And again, don't be afraid to add more of any ingredient. You're not gonna mess it up, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick bite and we'll see how this turned out. Really good. Just one more bite. Okay. So delicious. I can't wait to make these. Okay, so next we're gonna put our cookie mixture onto the parchment paper right behind me. If you haven't used parchment paper yet, it's fantastic. Nothing will stick to your pan. You don't have to do dishes afterwards. It's amazing. You can use it up to 420 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's a lot of stuff in your kitchen that you could just switch to putting on parchment paper. Make your life simpler. Okay, let's roll it into little balls and see how they turn out. So I like to put them into medium-sized balls like this. You want to call that a ball, and it's not too bad as far as stickiness, so nothing crazy as far as what's sticking to your hand. So there you go. So let's make a bunch of balls this size or bigger if you want, and we'll line up our cookie sheet. All right, we finished making all our little balls out of our cookies. Yay! Don't they look yummy? Okay, so let's go ahead and put these in the oven. We are going to bake them at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. If you use convection or you have normal, it's totally fine. But I have mine set at convection bake. I've done it at both regular and convection, and it turns out pretty much the same. So 375 Fahrenheit for 12 minutes. If your oven runs a little hot, maybe try 10 and check them. And if they still need a little bit more browning, go for a couple more minutes. If you like them extra crispy, you can do 13 or 14 minutes. But let's pop them in and get started. All right, cookies are in. Can't wait for them to turn out. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed following along for this recipe without a recipe, the chocolate chip cookies. So delicious. If this is something that you want to see more of, recipes without recipes, please like and subscribe and let me know what kind of non-recipe you'd like me to make that is vegan or vegetarian, and I'd be glad to take a look, see what I can come up with for you. Thanks and have a great day.